So Biocon in focus as well today. With that, let's shift the focus to the weather. Now, IMD has predicted above normal temperatures in the summer season across most of the country. So the coming few weeks perhaps could be pretty hot. Also, there are divergent reports. Some suggest that we could perhaps face a La Nina phenomena this year, which typically spells an above normal, more bountiful monsoon. To talk about these trends, let's bring in Mahesh Palawat, Vice President, Meteorology and Climate Change at Skymet Weather Services. And to talk about what this would mean, the summer, what could it mean for consumer durable companies, retail demand, and what the channel inventory position is like, we have Nilesh Gupta, Director, Vijay Sales, joining in. Gentlemen, thanks very much for being with us on this discussion. Mahesh, first to you. So do you concur with the view of the IMD that we could have a pretty scorching summer this time around? What are your forecasts saying for the next couple of weeks at least?
Yes, we can say now, until now, the weather over northwest India, particularly over Punjab, parts of North Rajasthan, Delhi, and western parts of Uttar Pradesh, was milder. It was not very hot due to the successive western disturbances and occasional rainfall. But central India and South Peninsula is still feeling the heat of summer. And now the temperatures are going to increase over northwest India as well as western disturbance will wane away. And the temperature will rise and it will be in upper 30s and in lower 40s by mid of April. And we can say the heat wave, the intensity and duration of heat wave will be much higher in the month of April and May and first half of June at least. Yeah.
Okay, that's scorching summer that we have on our hands. Mr. Gupta, have we already, it's already very hot in Mumbai. So have we seen a pickup in the sales of room air conditioners? So just talk about that category first. How were the months of January, February, and perhaps even the first half of March? And now what is the expectation that now that the temperatures have started picking up?
So good morning, everybody. Definitely in the last 1 week, we have seen a real upsurge in the sale of air conditioners as the temperature goes up. And especially in the last 2-3 days, we have seen a still more upswing. And January and February months were normal months. There was not much of a difference because the temperatures were not very high. And last year, I would just want to refresh, last year we lost the summer season because there was unseasonal rainfall across the country intermittently. This year, we expect to recover that lost sale. And if what we are hearing about the weather reports, and if the heat wave is going to be there and we are going to have a lot of more days where the heat wave will be there, then definitely I think this being a category which is totally dependent on the weather, I think we should see a good sales happening this season.
Nilesh?
Okay. Hi, Nilesh. Good morning. Nigel on this side, and good to speak to you after a while. Normally post-Holi, you see demand coming back. So as you're saying, demand is strong. I also understand that select brands have gone ahead and taken price increases. Could you confirm that?
So, in fact, the price increase has not happened because of the season. The price increase has happened post-December itself because of the increase in the prices of the raw materials. So, but most importantly, as I've always been saying on this channel, that price increase is not to that extent where it will hamper the sales. And secondly, what happens is now our 60 to 80, in fact, 75 to 80% of our sales are on EMI. So any price increase which happens also is softened by the EMI per month. So I don't see any challenge in the price increase. Yes, price increase has happened and that was bound to happen.
Well, that's a small quantum, right? 2-3% odd.
Exactly.
Okay. Nilesh, hang on. I want to come back and discuss channel inventory levels with you as well. But let's just go back to Mr. Palawat for a follow-up. Mr. Palawat, you said, so in northern India, temperatures can rise all the way up to low 40s in the next, coming 2 weeks. What about Western India and Southern India? And also just throw some light on this La Nina versus El Nino. Which one could it be this year?
The temperatures are already in lower 30s in many parts of Gujarat, South Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Rayalaseema. These areas are already warming up. And they will further warm up, and the temperature will be around, say, 43 to 44 degree in next 2 weeks over that area. And as we have mentioned that Northwest India will also see the increase in temperatures. And as of now, El Nino conditions are prevailing. It was a super El Nino last year, but now it will be gradually a devolving El Nino, and the neutral condition will pop up in the month of, say, April and May. And as we enter into the monsoon months between June and September, in the second half of monsoon, or you can say by end of July or mid of July, the La Nina conditions will start developing, and we think that monsoon will be normal. In our January forecast, we have mentioned it will be normal, but we think that it will be on the upper side of normal. That is 100% or more than 100%. And we will come out with our detailed forecast in second week of April. Yeah.
Okay, got that. So just to go back to that point on inventory levels, Nilesh, how well stocked are stores right now? What is the average inventory like? And do you think the December price increase pretty much takes care of it, or could we expect more as April rolls on?
No, so I don't see any price increase to be happening now because nobody will increase the price in the mid of the season. And as far as to your first question of inventory, the inventory levels are very healthy. In fact, this is the time when everybody has the highest inventory because you are not fearing, because you have the next 3 months of summer. In case something goes wrong also, monsoon or something, you will still be able to cover up by taking less in the next 45 days. So right now, inventory is not an issue. I think prices will not go up any further during the season. So everybody is geared up for a super sales this summer.
So what's the expectation from the OEMs in terms of summer season sales for room air conditioners? Are they penciling in a 20% kind of growth this season, a 30% kind of growth? And also, can you talk about the other categories? Where is it that we are seeing an increase in demand, and where is it that demand has been a bit subdued?
So this year for the air conditioners, we expect a 15 to 20% growth over last year. The reason for this 15 to 20% high growth is because last year the summer season was not so good. Although post-summer, we had a reasonably good in some parts of the country during October, November months, September, October months. So this year, over last year, we expect 15 to 20% growth. As far as other categories are concerned, refrigerator is a concern because there we are not seeing growth. Let's see how summer brings in, ushers in for the refrigerators. Televisions, the IPL effect has not yet happened, but normally the IPL effect does happen as we proceed into a few more matches. So we expect a slight increase in the televisions also. And rest, yes, all the others I think is going to be normal, nothing great. Around 8 to 10% growth we are expecting in the other categories too.
So refrigerators are degrowing, and what according to you is the reason for that, and how long has it been weak?
So basically, refrigerators we've seen for the last 1 year, the growth is not happening. It's degrowing or it's flat. And frankly speaking, all of us in the industry are unable to fathom the reason for that. So the only plausible reason which is coming up to is people are very much inclined to buying super expensive phones. And possibly because of that, they're saying the refrigerator which is working, let's not change. We'll continue with that, or any other gadget also. That is the only explanation which is coming up. Otherwise, there's no reason for the refrigerator growth not happening.
Okay. So quite optimistic in terms of expectations on room air conditioners, refrigerators as we prepare for the summer season. Mr. Palawat, you've given us the rough temperature ranges, right? Perhaps low 40s in northern India, maybe mid 40s in some parts of western India. But yes, these, I guess, would be pretty much along expected normal levels, average levels, or are these slightly above average for this time of the year when we talk mid-April projections?
Mid-April projections are slightly above normal, although there will be occasional rain activities over central parts of the country. Now, in next, say, between March 30 and April 2nd, there will be weather activities over Vidarbha, East Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, eastern parts of the country. So, but these rains will be for short duration, and it will not bring down the temperatures to any significant extent. So we think that Vidarbha and South Madhya Pradesh, parts of Marathwada, interior Karnataka, Telangana, these all areas will see the temperature between a range of say 42 to 45 degree, and the temperatures over Churu, Bikaner, and parts of Rajasthan, they will be in the excess of 45 degree in end of April. And Gujarat is also now witnessing temperature in the range of 40 and 41 recently, and they will say rise up to 43, 44 degree in coming days. So, and eastern parts of the country may also see upper 30s and lower 40s in mid-April. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Got that, Mr. Palawat. So, final question with you, Nilesh. Now, like you rightly said, last year, this season was a washout thanks to the rain gods. So there's no point looking at YOY comparison in terms of, when we'll try and understand how much is the growth better than last year. Just give us the average. I mean, perhaps the year before, where the base was normal. So on that base, should the growth be, growth in volume, should it be 15%, 10%, 20%? What's a good estimate to work with?
It will be definitely upwards of 10%.
10% over not FY23, but FY22. Is that right?
FY22, right.
FY22. Okay, got that. And just, how do you sum up the overall consumer sentiment and demand, considering that, there's been, a bit of a pullback on unsecured lending, a lot of the financing models that were at play. Just leave us with an overall outlook. How do you read the consumer at this point?
So overall, it is not very upbeat, but at the same time, I would say it is not low also. It's a normal demand which is going on. Yes, there are challenges in the EMI business because everybody is trying to grapple with the situation because of the changes in the RBI norms. But I think that's temporary. They'll find it out. And consumer sentiment is quite reasonably very good. Nothing to worry.
Mr. Palawat, Mr. Gupta, thank you very much for joining in on this discussion as we herald the summer season. For the markets, the Nifty is holding around the 22,300 mark, come off a tad bit, but it's still strong, 0.7% up. But the mid-cap index has now dipped into the red, so that's a bit of a concern. Banks are providing that support. The Nifty banking index is up nearly 400 points. We're going to take your leave on Bazaar from the entire team. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Chartbusters is up next.